Hi everyone, and thank you so much for tuning back into the last episode of this series. So the aim of this Mummy Means Business, as I said in my initial trailer, was to interview different mums who also have businesses, and just to kind of get like some ideas from them and help from them and advice from them. You know, me myself as a new mum, I have a business too, but I never ever could have imagined the amount of time that a child takes from you, and you know how my life completely changed and how I basically have to rework my businesses, rework my life around my child. So I thought, why not ask these amazing women who have been doing this for years and have successful businesses? So I've learned, you know, a lot from these women. Certainly some of kind of the key things that I've learned is to write a business plan, you know, and plan things and ahead of time rather than just freestyling things. Also setting a good price for your labor, and hiring people, so getting a team to help you. You know, many hands make light work. And I really hope that all of you that have been listening in to the Mummy Means Business podcast, whether you've been a mum yourself, or you are a brand new mum, or you don't have any kids and you have a business, I hope this has been insightful and this has been a good learning experience for you. What's going to happen is that I'm going to take a break for a few months, just chill with Xavier and my husband, travel, go on holiday, and then we're going to come back for season 2 of Mummy Means Business podcast in June. And it's going to be brand new mums, brand new episodes. We're going to talk about many different things that we haven't touched on yet. So I will keep you updated. Make sure you follow me on my Instagram at victoria.dele to find out all this information about this. But before we go for the series, I thought it would be fun to have another special guest. This time he's a guy. So this guy, he's an IT trainer, so he works in IT. He's a rapper by night as well. He's kind of like a Superman. He's got a day job, and then in the evening he raps. And he's a brand new dad himself to a little boy named Xavier too, and is the one and only Anthony, my husband. Whoop 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 whoop. Or Dio, whatever people know him as.
Thank you. Feel special.
So this episode is going to be us having a chat, really. Having a chat as we usually do, but we're going to record it, and we're basically just going to talk about fatherhood and from his perspective, and how the whole pregnancy, birth, fatherhood experience has been from him. And yeah, hopefully it'll be good. Yeah,
let's see how it goes.
Okay, so I'm going to interview you, yeah, babe.
No problem.
No problem. So you have to be honest.
I'm always honest.
Okay. So, first question. I'm joking. So how has been, like, from your perspective, how was the pregnancy and the kind of birth experience? Because obviously you were watching me being pregnant for 8 months. Did you kind of feel like you had no control of anything?
Well, you know, pregnancy is not easy. It was quite hard carrying Xavier for...
You're such a Nick.
I've still got stretch marks and all sorts. But
Of course.
No, I'm joking. From a male's perspective, in all honesty, I guess in some way it was somewhat amazing. The reason why I say that is obviously when we found out you was pregnant.
We was pregnant.
Okay, we was pregnant. There was no like physical evidence, so I couldn't see anything. So over the time of just like seeing your stomach grow, and you know, feeling Xavier kick, and all that stuff there, it was amazing from that perspective. It was like, wow, like this is nuts. So from that side, yeah, the physical aspect, it was quite amazing. But obviously from the emotional aspect, obviously Victoria's like, she's very strong. I give her that, and she did really well. But at the same time, sometimes, you know, it was hard trying to be there for her when her body was changing, and you know, you're just trying to comfort her and tell her like, oh, it's all right, you look perfect, you look okay. And just at times like when You know, you had your pain of your hip and
Oh
so on and so
yeah.
forth, man. It's like, oh gosh, like, because obviously as a man you can't feel anything, so you're just telling me, and you know, it was kind of my duty to try and calm me down. So it was two aspects to it. I say, you know, from the physical aspect, it was amazing, but then the emotional side of it, it's just kind of like it was a bit shaky at times, but you know, we got through it.
Yeah, so the hip thing, I don't know if any other people have gone through this, but basically, like, I'll go to sleep and I'll wake up like to go to the loo to go for a wee, and I literally couldn't walk. Like I don't know, my hips was hurting me so much.
Can you say we on the podcast?
What do you mean?
I'm just asking.
Just gone for a week. Like I've gone to the toilet.
Thank you.
Politically correct. So yeah, like the baby was just pushing on my pelvis. So yeah, and so literally in the middle of the night, I'll be screaming for Dial to wake up, and he will have to literally like hold me while I go to the toilet and like walk me back to the room. So, but was it tough for you in terms of like you don't really get that bond with the baby until the baby's out? So did you feel the bond with Xavier while I was pregnant, or did you feel a bit disconnected?
I think well, disconnected is a bit harsh. I wouldn't say disconnected. Obviously, like I couldn't, you know, feel him the way you felt him, because obviously he was inside you. But I still felt a bond. You know, like there was times like I'll put my hand on your stomach and he would kick, or he would move when he heard my voice or something along them lines. So I'll still say there was a bond. Obviously, not as strong as mother and baby, but I definitely felt a bond. I never felt disconnected in any way.
And do you think, I said in my earlier podcast, I don't know if you've heard, but like that you're a great dad even before you had a baby, almost. Like you were the maternal one out of both of us, almost. I don't know how to say maternal in a guy's perspective, but you'll be the one that is like, that will naturally just be like, oh, look after him and change him, even before I had the baby. So I knew that he was going to be a great dad even before I had the baby.
It's because I look after you. And
yeah, it's literally because you look after me. I like being looked after though. No. So how was the birth for you though? How was the whole birth experience? Like, even when I was getting contractions, do you know, I'm not gonna lie, from my perspective, yeah, before he kind of tells the story, so I was having contractions for like 2 days before I went into like active labor, where you're starting to dilate. And I think there was a time where I was contracting and this kid was sleeping. And I was literally like, and all he did is just gave me his hand. But you can't separate Dio and his sleep. Like, he loves sleeping so much. And I think he was shocked when I woke him up and I was like, my water broke. I was like, oh my gosh, already. And he just wanted to sleep. He was so tired. He just wanted to sleep.
Nah, you got to start it earlier from that, man. The birthing experience was nuts, man. So, obviously, Victoria was getting like false contractions. I think they call him, is it Tony Braxton? Braxton Hicks. Yeah, sorry, I'm wife and kids. That's why I got it mixed up. So she was getting like Braxton Hicks contractions, and obviously, like you don't understand Victoria. Like, oh my gosh, like this girl, yeah, like, I love you, babe, but oh my gosh, this girl was one drama queen like this, you know. So like when she was getting pain, I was just thinking, it can't be that deep. So the first night when she got pain, I think it was like 2 days before Xavier come. It was I was just kind of like, oh, come on, babe, like come on, like kind of chill. And then when she started getting proper pains, I was just cracking so much jokes. It was ridiculous. Like, we was going to cinema once, and she was having contractions, and the only thing that was going through my mind is, hey, listen, don't let your water break in my car.
You don't want me to mess up your car. He even refused to put like a baby on board sticker on the back of his car, because he's just like, no, you don't want it, no, don't want to mess up my car.
But going into it, when obviously your contractions got closer, and the labour was getting serious, I felt kind of helpless. I really felt for you, all the pain you was going through, and there wasn't much I could do, so I felt really helpless. Like, all I could do was kind of like, you know, rub your leg or hold your hand, and it was real. Like, it woke me up. Like, wow, like, hey, women go through this, man. And I changed my mind. Said, well, nah. Yeah, Vicky's not a drama queen. This pain is serious now. Yeah, Kaki's not leather.
Kaki's not leather. And it was serious. It was really. But you did well, you know. Yeah, actually, I genuinely thought, because Dad doesn't like any blood, or he hates like talking about anything gooey or disgusting. Like that literally disgusts him. So I thought he won't be able to handle the birth. And to be fair, he did really, really well. But after he was born, he did go home to sleep.
Yeah, well, that's because I handled it well, because I stayed head level, innit? Because you know,
you didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, there's none of my business around, there. But yeah, after the birth, I had to go home and sleep, because I didn't sleep for a while. But it was an experience, man. It was an experience.
And do you think that you're the dad that you thought you would be? So before Xavier came, like, what perception of fatherhood did you have? And do you think that, right now, that's what you're actually doing?
My perception of fatherhood, I've told you several times, is like, obviously, me and my dad's relationship, innit? And, let's just say, it's different, innit? Like, I won't kick Xavier in the chest for eating cereal. Nah, do you know what? Honestly, like, you can never plan these things. I would say that, I always knew that I was going to love Xavier, and I was going to be there for him. But after he's been here, I don't even think you can actually describe the love. The love is like, it's nuts. And just the joy and the banter and the playing. So, and also you don't really know like how much you actually are going to care. Like, just in everything, obviously when we first had him and he was quite small, like, obviously I didn't show it to you, but inside I was like quite worried, and, you just want your child to be okay, even though Xavier was alright, but because he was like really tiny, like, it brought out another side of me. And generally, obviously, when I went to New York as well, I think it showed another side that I just genuinely couldn't deal with being away. Like, I really, really missed him. Like, not even trying to be soft or, because, I'm not soft, innit? Like, I'm soft.
He's your child, you can be soft.
No, I'm not soft. I'm so hard, I can't bend. But yeah, I haven't got it planned, but just from what it's been for these, like, 4 months, going 5, it's been amazing, and it's just, I'm just freestyling on this, like, asking God to help me. Literally, that's what it is. But generally, just showing him love and showing him care, and we seem to be doing a good job. He looks well. Do
you know what? It's funny, because when people see Xavier, they think, oh my gosh, he looks exactly like his mum. He looks exactly like his mum, which he does.
Yeah, blood test pending.
What do you mean blood? Are you all right? No, you're actually putting it out there, blood test pending, like it's not your child. Anyways, but yeah, people say he looks like me, but he behaves, and his mannerisms and just the way he acts, it's exactly like you, like to the T. Like, everything he does is like, oh my gosh, this is what you do, this is what you do. So he is your child, at least. Come on. Even if he doesn't look like you, acts like you.
Yeah, that baby light skin.
What do you mean the baby's like?
No, I'm joking. Yeah, nah, he.
Well, you're a good dad.
Yeah,
he loves you.
Yeah, he acts just like me. And that's another thing I was saying to someone, that it's crazy. Like, he looks exactly like Victoria, but he has my mannerisms. Like, we sleep the same way. We both snore. We both sleep with our mouth open. We both have them periods where we're just silent, and then we have them periods where we're just laughing. It's crazy, and the kid's always smiling. Like, yeah, so it's just nuts, man.
But, Xavier's still young, so I don't know. There might be other challenges that we're going to face. But so far, what has been the biggest challenge for you that, like, it really kind of, took you by surprise, and how did you overcome it?
This kid pooed on himself yesterday.
That is not a challenge, Daryl.
Yeah. We went Frankie and Benny's, and this kid did madness. I was all there. Do you know,
so we went Frankie and Benny's, and usually I go and change Xavier when he does a poo or whatever, and I was like, oh babe, can you take this one? He's like, cool. And he thinks I set him up because that was literally the worst.
This kid destroyed his clothes. He was kicking his legs, and the poo was flinging everywhere. The baby changing thing was broken, so he was slanting the time I was wiping his bum. And then what really annoyed me is that he had a smile on his face the whole time I was doing it. Like, I just don't get it.
Because he feels free.
But no, the most challenging, I'd say just the very, very beginning, because like, God's blessed us. Xavier's been amazing. A lot of people said before we got had him, oh, you're not going to sleep, and he's going to be like this, and they're going to cry. And not to say we haven't experienced some of that, obviously we have. But I'll say the very beginning, like when Xavier came home, because Xavier was, you have to understand, he was like 2.5 kg. And he wasn't latching on like at the beginning, so I think just at that time, like wanting him to eat and wanting him to grow, you know, I was just like, oh, praying like God, you know. I think that was the most challenging part for me. But since then, it's just like I'm not saying it's easy, but it's kind of, I guess it's somewhat like our marriage. Like it's calm. It's not throwing anything out there that I can't handle.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's true. And even now, like, I went to get him weighed the other day, and he is a big boy.
15.5 pounds.
Yeah, he's 15.5 pounds. Yeah. And he's even bigger than some of the kids that were born around the same time as him, that were bigger than him, and now he's bigger than them. But it's so hard to kind of see past that. You know, initially, Xavier's crying. He's waking up now. Yeah. So yeah, like initially when he was so small, we were like,
let me go get him.
Yeah, go get him. So yeah, I was just gonna go and get Xavier because he's moaning. But yeah, initially when he was born, I think I mentioned this in another podcast, he was so small and he wasn't eating, and it was just hard to kind of see past when you know, my dad actually flew over from America to come and see him, and he kept saying, don't worry, before you know it, he's gonna be big and you'll be able to hold him, he's gonna be big. But you know, my husband and I couldn't see past that. We were just kind of seeing the now. And now when we look back at pictures, like some days we're just at home and like chilling and just looking at pictures of him, and then we just can't believe he was ever that small.
Trust me, man.
We just can't believe he was like, I can't believe he was that small.
It's like when he first came home, I could like put him in my trainer box and like my backpack. But
yeah, literally. Now he won't fit.
Now he won't fit. He'll probably break it actually. He's one big used.
But you know, this podcast, Mummy Means Business, is all about how, you know, women manage their time between work and family. So how is it for you? Like, how was the first time going back to work, kind of leaving Xavier? Because you only had a week. You only had a week paternity leave, and you had to go back straight away. But how has it been, kind of going to work? Do you feel like you spend enough time with him? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so like, in all honesty, I always knew that I was going to go back to work. I don't think a week was enough with Xavier. So when I went back to work, it was obviously he was brand new. Like, he was like a week old. So I obviously missed him. I wanted to play with him more. And at times, obviously, when I used to come home, even now, like, obviously because he sees you much more. So even when I do play with him, he's like still looking for you, still turning his head and all that stuff. And it's not jealousy, but at the same time, it's like, oh, do you know what? It's so big that, you know, a dad's needed. Like, you need to be around and all that stuff there. So I think that's what was challenging. But now I'm kind of used to it, because obviously I need to go to work so we can make money. And there you go.
But how was the first time? Did like going to work? Obviously, I remember you were so upset you didn't want to go, and you were messaging me all the time. And obviously, by the time you get home,
put that out there, make me sound moist.
What do you mean? You're dad, Daryl. You're dad, yeah. You're moist. It's done. You're dad.
No. Take that back.
Okay, I'll take it back.
Thank you.
I'll take it back. But I mean, like, you know, you go to work, you come home. By the time you get home, he's gone to bed, or he's tired. He's going to bed, and then you don't really get that time with him. In the morning, you go back to work. Like even me now, I'm dreading going back to work, because I just can't imagine just being away from him.
Yeah, so I didn't like it, obviously, when I had to go back. But I think the fact that I had to go back is not like it was for no reason. It's because obviously I'm self-employed, and we were like, obviously I wasn't getting paid when I was on maternity leave. So it was challenging, because obviously I wanted to spend time with him, and I wanted to be with him. But I kind of just dealt with it, and now I kind of deal with it. So obviously that's why on the weekends I try to take you guys out, or try to play with him or whatever, because I don't get it during the week. Come on.
And, you know, among all the skills that you have, because you're multi-talented, you know, rapper, actor, IT trainer, technician, business management degree, you know, I can gas you up all day.
Gas me.
What is one skill that you want Xavier to kind of take from you? And what's one skill you want Xavier to take from me?
One skill I want him to take from me. I guess you say it all the time. I'm not sure if it's a skill, but I'm quite blunt. And it's quite, you know, honest and
I don't know about that one. I don't know if I want Xavier to have that one, please.
But, you know, I guess it's just like my willingness to work hard. Like, even like my job is not something that, you know, I always chose to get into, but it was kind of like just from grafting. It's not even related to my degree, but, you know, I just kind of grafting. Like, I've always had that willpower to like work and, you know, you know, just make money, or, you know, obviously not just saying that it's for him to make money, but just having that willingness to work, not to be a guy that just wants to sit still and not have any motivation. But he's going to be a baller anyway, so it doesn't really matter, does it? 'Cause he's going to play for United and that.
And that's it.
From you, I want him to have, again, I don't really think it's a skill, but I'd say like, I'm very, like you say, I'm very heartless, innit? And you're like, your heart's so big, like, and you're very kind.
He's not heartless, by the way. Just throwing out there.
I am still. I'll crush him. I'm joking. I'll take that back.
What? Are you serious?
So I want him. Yeah, I'd probably want him to have that. And obviously, you're. I think we have the same quality when it comes to ambition, innit? Obviously, like I say, you know, you can't sit still. You're always doing something. That you have podcasts. You have fashion design. You are doing PR. I don't know, you're probably shotting on the side still. But I wanted to have that drive, innit?
Oh my gosh, what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to have, innit?
Oh my gosh. You're not serious. Hi, Baba. But yeah, it's been good to have you on, just chatting to you. And yeah, thank you for coming today. I have one more question for you before you go.
Sure.
So for any, you know, guys who want to have kids, what advice would you give them? I already know what's coming to your head.
No, I'm
just
gonna
keep it PG.
Keep PG.
Keep it PG.
What advice would I give them? Do you know, I don't even know, you know, I'll just say, and I'm not trying to be religious or a cliche, one thing I was doing non-stop before Xavier came, and even before we planned to have Xavier, was I just was praying, you know, and I was praying about faith and belief, and, you know, asking God to increase my faith, and that was Xavier that birthed, not me. Increase my faith and increase my belief, and with that, it would allow me and guide me to be a good dad. So that's the advice I would give him, obviously, because I'm Christian first. So that's the only thing. But everything else in terms of physical or, you know, preparation, you just learn as you go. So.
And how many kids are we having?
Oh, 1.5. One more, and it won't be a girl. It won't be a girl in Jesus' name.
Remember the other Sister Inka, other podcast, she said the blessing comes after 3.
Yeah, no.
Or she said after 2. So the third child, that's when the blessing really comes.
Just one more. We'll just do one more. We'll do one more, and it won't be a girl in Jesus' name.
What do you mean? So if it's a girl, what's gonna happen?
I don't know. We have to give that one away and try again.
Anyways, thank you for being on this podcast. This was kind of like a bonus podcast for you all to kind of have a listen. But thank you all for kind of listening to all the podcasts, for supporting this. This was kind of like a whim. Usually with my ideas, I have a dream, and I dream about my ideas, and then I wake up in the middle of the night and I have to write it down.
Literally.
Yeah, literally, that's exactly what happened. I have to write it down, and then I will end up telling my husband, and he'll be like, how much does it cost? But yeah, this has been really exciting for me to kind of do, because I've always wanted to do something that just has my name on it, that I'm not working for anybody or doing anything for anybody. I'm just doing it for myself, just for fun. So thank you all for kind of being patient and consistent. And yeah, by God's grace, we'll have another series coming soon with another few interviews. So
it's just like a proper radio thing. Can I shout out my dons and that?
What dons?
Nah, never mind. I'm joking.
just ignore that. But yeah, so make sure you subscribe, please. I know you all listen, but make sure you subscribe to my channel. Well, not my channel, but the podcast. I feel like I'm a YouTuber now. But make sure you subscribe to the podcast. It's available on SoundCloud, on Apple Podcast, on Podbean, and it's also available on Spotify. So make sure you find me, Mommy Means Business. Listen to the other podcasts that you haven't listened to yet, and yeah, we'll be with you soon, isn't it, Zabi? Okay, say bye. We're gonna put him back to bed now. Okay, thank you for listening. Bye.